No. Oh, that looks beautiful. Let's maybe move that out of the way. Alright, so I am going to show you guys the easiest way to draft a pattern for a shirt. It's going to be super simple and easy, so just follow along with me here. You don't really even need a doll for this, but you can certainly use one for scale. I'm just using like a scrap piece of paper from an old sketchbook, and I can put my doll down here. Now, someone needs to be restrung. All I'm doing is drawing a rectangle around my doll's body. It doesn't even need to be perfect. That's really it, and then I'm just getting on top of the shoulders, and that is all I need. And you're done! There's your pattern! Just kidding. But I'm gonna move on to Sharpies. So I'm gonna start with the lightest color just to make it easier as I go along. And based on this very easy, quick outline, I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Whoop. So, that's your basic shirt. Honestly, you're like halfway done. Now what you want to do is also think about seam allowance. You probably already got some in there, especially if you didn't very carefully trace your doll. But just to be safe, I'm going to add a little bit extra because you can always take your shirt in, but you certainly can't take it out. So there we go. That's my basic rectangle. It's probably not even like symmetrical whatsoever, but that does not really matter at the moment. What we're going to do now is you can kind of see where I started drawing the shoulders, and between those I'm going to take a little smiley face. Oh, see, it's like, here's the eyes, there's the smiley face. Yeah, it's very fascinating. Then, oh, I actually did that. Alright. Then I'm going to go right from the smiley face and just cut off my corners. Alright, super easy. Then I'm just going to go right from the bottom of my corner and make a little backwards J. Do the same thing over here, except the J is forward. That is really your basic shirt. If I take this with a blue Sharpie so you can see what we've done here. Here's the shoulders, this is the collar. Here are the holes for the sleeves, the arms. And then here is the body of our shirt. And then you would experiment with this and see what worked, you know, what your seam allowance would be, what you would want your hem to look like. Alright, so that's your basic pattern. Anything beyond that you're doing with the shirt, you're basically just utilizing this top part here and adding anything else you want to the bottom, all around it. The parts that need to stay intact are really the parts that have sleeves, that create the sleeves, the collar, and the shoulders, because this is your basic structure. Even if you're making like a little tiny crop top, you still have this basic structure here. So this is definitely a good thing to start with, and once you have your own t-shirt pattern, or basic shirt pattern, whatever you want to call it, you can go just a ton of places, get really creative with it. You know, if you wanted to have something that flared out, and then you could like put some darts in there or something. If you wanted to make this wider and then add like a bunch of pleats in here or something, you know, you can do a lot with it. Okay, the other thing I feel I ought to show you is, okay, here's another piece of scrap paper, and what I'm going to show you is just the basic idea for a sleeve, for a short-sleeved shirt. And again, once you have the structure for this, you really don't need to do that much more to create different things and new things. So basically, we're going to start the same exact way, but our rectangle is going to be a little bit smaller, and you can, you know, use your doll for scale for this again. And what we're going to do after we've made our rectangle is take a curve all the way through it, and then we're going to cut out our corners again, and that is all you need to do. So this is the basic shape that you should end up with. And your hem is going to be down here, and then your seam allowance would be, you know, like this. And if this shape doesn't make sense to you, I don't even have to draw this, I can just fold this paper. Imagine cutting this in half. And now you can see this is where the shirt is going to attach to your shirt over here. Alright, so I just cut that out really quickly so I can show you guys what this shape is supposed to do. So you can see this is our shape, this is all we've done. If you just fold this in half, you can see how this is meant to fit in here, and now you have your shirt coming together already. See how fast that is? It's so fast! It's the fastest ever! This was pattern drafting for super basic beginners. I hope this was or will be helpful to some of you, and you know, don't get discouraged by pattern drafting. I know it can be very annoying and frustrating, and you have to do a lot of versions and tries to make it work. So